can't find me till I live today. Why not today while my heart is ready? Today while it's in my grasp. Thoughts start out slowly, confident knowing I'm still on my way. Why not today?
Welcome to the Why Not Today show with Eric Dodge and Laurel Dodge. We are having all kinds of issues today with technical stuff. I am not smart enough for this. I have seen that my capabilities are not at this level, and so we may need to hire somebody or figure something out down the road here, but I can't figure this out. So anyway, we're live on YouTube, and we're live.
It looks better on YouTube.
It is better on YouTube, but I couldn't make it work.
We need Emily here.
I couldn't get the internet. I couldn't get the computer to go live. So we're doing it live on the iPad over here on YouTube and live on Facebook right here. And I'm also simultaneously recording the podcast. And so, oh man, it's a lot of stuff I'm trying to figure out. It's stressful, but we got it going. So, all right.
Deep breath.
All right. How are you today?
Read our introduction.
The Why Not Today show with Eric Dodge and Laurel Dodge working together to find hope, health, and happiness. And yeah, we're here. So I'm going to try to share the link for the live feed and get it to go the YouTube live feed if I can figure out how to do that. So anyway, welcome.
I'm going to turn that a little bit, see if we can catch more of Eric.
Well, we might be able to put like another shelf up here to where we could put that. Yeah, that works.
Is that better, Emily?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
And the chat should work good on the
I can read
iPad
the chat.
versus the it should work a lot better. So I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Maybe.
I don't know how to get the notifications that we are live. It says right there that on the Why Not Today show, that's who I want to be. So I'm assuming this is our live feed. And we're going to learn this together. We're going to learn it together. There it is. Waiting for the Why Not Today lifestyle show. So why does my computer say that when I don't think we're streaming on YouTube anymore?
Oh, it says live.
Yeah, but there's nobody watching, and it's not live here. And I don't know if we're on Facebook. Are we? Are we still there?
Yeah.
This is crazy. I have too many problems.
See, we're good.
Okay. Well, the YouTube may not be working, so we may scrap the live YouTube feed from here on out because they've made it way too difficult. So unless some generation millennial wants to tell me how to do it. So
we need Dagan here.
Something. It is a pain, I'll tell you.
Okay.
All right.
I'm good. Are you good?
Yep, we're here. Welcome.
Last week, I threw out a little question, and some of you did answer it. What did you want to be when you were 10 years old? And I got this from reading a Reader's Digest. It was the October book. I just grabbed it off of the store shelf, and there was an article called The Rule of Age 10 by Bruce Grierson from Psychology Today.
Okay.
I was really intrigued by that. And we talked a little bit about, I remember Eric as a 10-year-old, and a lot of his people skills, a lot of your people skills, and a lot of your sales attitude you had back then. Passion for animals, a lot of those things.
Yes.
But I want to refer to this article just briefly. It starts out that everyone who ever worked at NASA or Google or SpaceX got excited about science before they were 11 or 12.
Okay.
I think when I was growing up, every 10, 11-year-old wanted to be an astronaut.
Oh, yeah. I remember that too.
And so I think through the years after that, it grew even greater. And that is well documented. They interviewed a lot of these people that worked there and found that they loved these things. The next thing that he says is, what if what we really love doing between ages 9 and 11 is what most of us ought to be doing? Somehow as our actual job as an adult. Now, it's true that he says our life satisfaction depends heavily on recalling precisely what that thing was. during that very unique developmental stage. And I really liked what he said. Age 10 to 12, your body slows down its huge growth.
Okay.
But your brain really grows and learns and processes and synapses and all these things improve in those 2 years. And then when you're 12, you start getting this big growth spurt again. And you think of kids, and that's what happens.
Right.
Okay. And they call it your developmental sweet spot. You're old enough to know what excites you, yet you're not old enough for the adults to say, no, you can't do that when you grow up. You can't be a chicken farmer.
Right.
You know, they can say that to you, but you don't let it really get inside you and pound you down and stop you where you would if you were a little bit older.
Right.
So if you think about this term called the inner child, kind of has been kicked to the curb lately, hasn't it?
It has been. Yeah.
You used to say all the time, develop that inner child. And so it's time to resurrect that inner child, Eric. Time to let that 10-year-old inside you be heard more. And like I said, you have kind of followed that passion since you were 10.
I figured out the problem. I had Laurel's microphone turned down. Sorry you couldn't hear her very good.
Oh, good. You want me to start over?
No, that's good. You were being picked up through my microphone. Just a lot of technical stuff today. The gremlins are working hard. You should be able to hear her now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You
I
can?
had you turned down.
Well, that probably was good.
No.
You want me to start over?
No. We were talking about the inner child and resurrecting that, and that is true. And I believe that was picked up.
Well, and I think you think so many things these little 10 and 11-year-olds say, and a lot of them now want to be computer programmers,
Mm-hmm.
computer designers, all these things because they're on their iPads and on their games and things. But if you look at the future, every one of those kids with the technology, the way it's booming right now, will probably be doing that.
It's true.
Because every aspect of our lives now is becoming that technological area. And I think they're going to be doing that. But I wanted to touch a little bit more on what they said. The recovery of your inner child is a complicated, hard thing to do. Not
That's
just
true.
because, a lot of us haven't been kids for a long time. Me,
Right.
I haven't been a kid for a long time. And if I look back at when I was 10, I can't remember a lot. I love to do a lot of things. I loved flowers, which shows up a lot in my life now. I love animals. But I'm beyond worrying about doing that as a career. But I can still find joy and happiness from it.
Well, you could do that, though. You could volunteer at the animal shelters. You could volunteer for Best Friends. You could go sit out in front of Petco and help people adopt cats out.
I could, but I'm going to focus on the Eric Dodge help me survive these 2 Labrador.
Oh, Eric's
cause.
not surviving that well.
So what we have to do is we need to kind of scale down. Like you said, for me to go and look for a career in this, I can volunteer, I can do things, and I can still do a career in it.
Yeah.
But I have to find my joy and happiness in the things I liked when I was 10-year-old, maybe as a hobby.
Sure.
Maybe as something I can do. And he does conclude the article by saying, even though he really encourages that we find this as our living and our job and our career, we need to run it through some filters and see what's realistic, what's really truly what we can do with it. And so Eric, since you've retired,
Is that what it's called, is retired?
how are you filtering your inner child as far as sales? You want to show some of the things you have to offer? Have you got your book and stuff here?
We've sold books and CDs and things. Obviously, that's what I've done. As people always ask me about the music industry, and they think, oh, how fun would that be just to do music all the time and stuff. And I think, I've done a lot of seminars on it. It's actually all sales related. Mm-hmm. Music industry is all sales related. So in order to be successful in music, you've got to be able to sell CDs and books. to help cover the expense of making CDs and books.
Mhm.
And that's the problem, is sales is almost in everything. If you want to be an animal caregiver, you have to learn how, in a way, to sell, not necessarily sell the animals, but you've got to at least sell to the animals that you are taking care of them. And it's always a sell. It's not necessarily a financial sell, it's a sell.
Mhm.
A sell is just convincing somebody or doing some sort of a transaction, whether it's monetary or as a friendship, you know.
Well, in the National Speakers Association, you're involved in that.
Yes.
And in that, you are selling people a way of life, usually a way of handling a situation.
They're selling. A lot of speakers sell solutions to problems, and that's what really sales is.
And some sell product, a book or things like that also.
Right.
But they're selling an idea. I guess that's what I want to say. They're selling. So you're still in, when you're involved in the national speakers, when you're singing, you're selling something to us.
Right.
Which is an okay thing. It's
yes and no, because sales has gotten a little out of control nowadays. A lot of people have lost, when we talk about inner child, people have gotten confused in the aspect of, I want to make money,
mm-hmm.
or I want to do what I love. And those two things can work out together, but not always in the same amount. I see it every day with people that they don't really do something they love. They're just trying to make money because they think that's what's going to make them happy. And that, I can tell you firsthand, that things that's happened in my life, that will not make you happy. Doing what you love is going to make you more happy than making a lot of money. I'm just going to be honest about that.
Well, and that's why I want to bring in this next part. This next part is, sometimes you have a family to take care of. You have obligations, financial obligations, and you have to work. There's a lot of places in the world that are small little towns, and you have to work where the jobs are available. But you can always pull in what you love afterwards. We have all heard the saying, do what you love and the money will follow. Unfortunately, though, it is not that easy. And with the cost of living on the rise.
I hear that saying all the time, and that's absolute BS.
The maybe 1% can do that, or 2%.
That's one thing. There are a lot of speakers, and being part of the speaker world, there's some that I love, and there's some that I just despise, because they teach these things that only 1% of people can really truly do. And so it shatters dreams, and that's the worst thing that can happen to you. Do what you love and the money will follow. That's not always true. You can do what you love while, I always say, do something to bring in the money while you pursue something you love on the side.
Okay.
That's what I say, because you do need to be realistic. And
if you can. And so you're at a job, and you're in this little tiny community, and I'm kind of thinking of someone I know in Richfield that works at a Walmart. And I know it's frustrating. It's hard to go to work there. But they seem to have some fun times.
Mm-hmm.
They go in there with their positive attitude, and they have some fun times, even though it's hard. So if you can bring some of that happiness and joy into your work, it makes it bearable.
Yeah.
Make some friends and things like that. But I wanted to tell you some reasons why you should do what you love, and why it is important, whether for a living or for enjoyment. Even if you're home and you're not selling your stuff, but you maybe love painting, and you're painting these pictures, it's going to give you a higher self-esteem. Especially if you like what you painted.
Yeah,
if you don't like what you painted, you go out.
I had to stop doing
blow
that.
It up.
You remember those adult coloring books? Everybody said, those will give you, those are stress relieving. You just sit there and color. And it caused so much stress for me that I had to stop doing that, because I couldn't stay in the lines perfectly, and my colors didn't look right next to each other. And I'm not one of those people that can just let that go and be like, it looks fine because it's supposed to be abstract. That doesn't work for me. It never has, never will.
You didn't like to color when you were 10.
No.
Maybe that's a correlation there. Don't do the things that the world says you're supposed to do if you didn't like them at 10.
Yeah.
But that, you'll have this higher self-esteem. You'll be motivated and more proactive. Okay, so you always wanted to learn how to watercolor. So you start taking some lessons. Nowadays on YouTube, there's so many tutorials that you could teach yourself. But once in a while, take a class. Get to know other people that are common loves and common things, and that will make you more motivated.
As long as it's one you want to do.
Oh yeah, you want to do it. You don't know.
Don't take a class that's not an interest to you, and you do need to try some of those things. Like a perfect example, my sister, who's on the chat, loves to go to the paint nights, and I've gone to several of those now, like 2 or 3, and it's not my thing. I stress out, and that's the same exact thing. I stress out when my painting doesn't look great. Everybody else's looks better than mine, and I know that's internal issues of mine. But when I leave something like that and I feel bad about myself, it's not something I want to keep going back to. And so some people love that, and they can just leave and be like, oh, but my painting doesn't need to be perfect. And me, I can't go to those and not leave and feel like I just did a terrible job with my painting. So that's the perfectionist side of me.
Maybe you didn't drink the wine.
I didn't drink enough. That's the problem.
You didn't drink enough wine.
Maybe. If I drank enough, then my picture would look great, and I'd leave there like a film like $1 million probably. But
well, and you will be valued. And then again, I'm going to go back to Emily, because she loves to paint and watercolor and color different things. She's been tutoring a little gal on painting, and she's flourished, this little gal, and it's been kind of fun to see. So Emily has become valued. Okay, you paint, you like to do these things. Maybe you'll become the next famous painter in the world, and you will have a more earning potential.
This is true. There's a possibility.
You can sell your crafts. There's so many places you can sell them now, and maybe get a little income that way, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Very important. Your overall health is better, Eric, if you find and do things you love.
This is true.
And you can paint a picture and drink a whole bunch of wine. Then you'll be happy.
Are we going to start? Maybe we need to start having wine on the podcast, and then nothing.
No, I don't go there.
Okay.
But you could have we'd have a big turnout.
We would have a big turnout.
Wine with Eric and Laurel, and not
wine and cheese plates. We got the cheese
the
plate.
drinking wine, not the other wine, Eric.
Oh yeah.
I've got a little plaque in my house that says, "Quit your whining." Oh, my dad used to say that to me. Quit your whining, girl. Quit your whining. You'll have a happier house. Mm-hmm. If you walk in and you've made things and you've done things and you see your things, you kind of get a little, oh, I did that. So you'll be more productive. I've always made myself the rule, which is just me. It's just me. I'm OCD too. I have to have all my work done and everything done before I can sit down and craft or do something. It all screams at me.
I'm so bad that way. My friends were always, they would come to my house and they would crumble up cookies on my counter. I've gotten a lot worse over the years.
Yeah, you have.
My house is dirtier. No, I mean, like, I don't clean like I used to. I'm looking at this. Okay.
You know, don't do that. You make me sneeze.
Got dust everywhere. I'm looking at my house and I'm thinking, I've got all this stuff to do. So I shouldn't go do something fun. I shouldn't go hiking. I shouldn't go camping. I shouldn't go to a painting class because I really need to dust this room. And I really need to clean my bathrooms. And I really need to, that's what happens to me. And so then I forget to go have fun because I have way too many other things to do.
Well, you got to go have fun.
I agree.
And I need to learn to do that more. And I have learned through the years, you know, time marches on, Eric. You lose these chances.
That's true.
All of this combined, all this happiness and doing all these things will give you better mental health. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
That's why I line dance. I do enjoy line dancing.
Well, and it gets your serotonin going in your brain.
I enjoy line dancing.
Feeling better.
My line dance classes are fun. We have a lot of people show up. It is hard on me physically, but I like them. And I don't know if I'll be able to do them forever. Most likely not. But as long as I can, I'm going to do them. And those are fun for me.
And I think that's good. And that, you know, we've kind of talked a little bit about you doing some line dance tutorials on YouTube.
We thought about adding some to our channel. But the thing is when you say improve mental health, they say that music and dancing are some of the biggest things to improve your mental health. And so those are very important to learn the patterns of the dances and to become more fluid and to go with the flow and to feel the music. Those types of things help you with your health overall.
Well, and when I was in rehab, the very first important thing is they wanted us listening to music again for the patterns and for the brain recognition and to bring so much purpose. So music is a big thing, Eric.
Yeah.
And the line dancing activity, if you like to do some of these things, do these things. It doesn't have to be a craft. It doesn't have to be a hobby. Somebody put on there that they loved dancing when they were 10.
And you know, that's a really good idea. I think we'll do that. I'm going to put a line dance tutorial on our channel, and you can dance to it at home. And that way if you don't feel comfortable showing up to a group thing where you're in front of people, you can do it at home and you can dance right there. And maybe I'll add some music to it and stuff like that. Chrissy talked about Native American flute playing is soothing. She's big into that.
You need to share about your flute playing.
And Chrissy sent a Troy DeRoche flute to me many years ago, and it's beautiful. And
it is.
And my father's been playing it.
He does.
He does play it. And it's kind of a neat flute that was handmade, and Chrissy's been big into that for years. So that is a very good one.
Well, it is soothing, and it's important. I think it is such a pure, simple sound.
Yeah.
You know, that your mind can go with it. And so that is an important thing. When I was in rehab, they had us do drums.
Yeah.
They brought in drums and had us just do drum circles.
Yeah. You bought some drums for them.
I bought
You
them.
donated to their
I did.
program.
I bought some drums and donated to the program in a thank you gesture. But things like that you can drum, and we all got together and they gave us different rhythms, and we had a gourd rattle and some things, and they just said, well, let's try to make it sound like a rainfall, and that way your brain connects back together with all these things, and it recovers, and it's a very important thing. They had us do a lot of crafts. They had us do a lot of things to find the things that brought us happiness.
Yeah.
And so they have just found, if you really cannot do what you love as a living, find these other avenues, find these other things to do. Have fun.
That's a good point.
So what I want to challenge you today is I want to challenge you to find something this week that you've always wondered if maybe you'd like to do, and do it.
Underwater basket weaving.
Okay. Where are you going to do that?
Underwater basket weaving. I'm going to go to Cabo and do that.
Do they do it in Cabo? No, is that such
it is a
thing?
I don't know why it is, but it is a thing. So
find something fun. Find something to laugh.
Goat yoga. They have goat yoga that you can have goats stand on your back.
You could do Labrador yoga.
Labrador. Oh yeah, Paisley would love that.
You know, I bet you could teach your dogs to do.
Paisley would be all over
some of those moves.
Yeah.
That if you could teach them to down.
Yeah, absolutely. Down dog, stay down.
But find some things you can think of that you like to do. I know, and you have to be a little careful because they can consume you.
Right.
I know a lady who loves to quilt. I know several ladies that love to quilt and do beautiful quilts, and you do so many, and all of a sudden you have all these quilts.
Yeah.
And all this material, and you love to do it. Maybe there's places to donate those quilts. I don't know. But find a way to use these things you love to do.
Right. It's good.
Okay. You got anything to say about this, Eric?
Nothing today. Just glad we got the show working for now. And next week I'm going to get an earlier start to try to figure out some of the bugs. I don't know why the YouTube stream didn't work. I was able to get it to work for a train for 50 minutes out in the middle of the desert, but I can't get it to do a show at my house on Wi-Fi. So that's an interesting analogy to me.
I learned a little bit about the big boy, the train. He's retiring.
I heard that too.
This is his last tour to his final retirement place.
Yeah.
And he's the last one of the big steam trains that's
There's
going.
the biggest. I've heard there's others.
Biggest.
I've heard there are others. John, my friend John, had all kinds of history on those. And I guess they made like 25 of those.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest of all of them. And they've made different sizes. And there were some neat facts about that, how that used to take 2 engines to get up over the Colorado mountains, and they created that one train so that it could pull the entire train over the mountains by itself without having to have
Wow.
dual engines running. There was a lot of neat stuff about that, but there are 8 or 10 in existence still. That's the best shape, the best running, and the biggest of all of them. And they're going to take it down through Texas and California. And
Well, and that fellow said that the engine itself weighed 1,000,000 pounds.
1,200,000 pounds. Yeah.
How would they know that?
I don't know.
That's what fascinates me, how these little weird things all click together. But that was quite interesting to watch that.
It was fun. It was neat. There was a lot of people out there.
When the steam came off when it went to start, and those of you go onto our YouTube channel and you can watch, and the steam shot off the side, did it burn the people that were?
It was warm, but it didn't burn them. It did hit them all, though.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of them got sprayed.
Yeah,
with
they
steam.
did. It was a neat thing to see. Yeah, go check that out on our channel. We're trying to get some more views on our channel. We need approximately 500 hours. And then our channel will, I know that sounds like a lot, but it's not that much compared to some of the other channels out there. YouTube requires some very strict requirements to allow your channel to be monetized. And what's sad about that is even if it is monetized, the money you get off of it is so small.
What do you mean by monetized?
Monetized means
some of us that are dumb.
That the advertisements that they put in your videos, some of that money will come to you for running the channel. Right now, YouTube's having a heyday and just putting advertisements on everything we've got, and they're not paying anything out to us because we don't qualify as a big channel and we don't have 4,000 hours in a 365-day period. So they have some really strict requirements. You have to have at least 1,000 subscribers, which we have, and you have to have 4,000 hours of viewing, which we have 3,553 hours of viewing over the last 365 days, which is humongous when you consider that my Eric Dodge music channel has 100 videos on it and it only has 600 hours of viewing. So
really?
We're much closer with the Why Not Today channel. And so if you have a minute to check out some of our videos or watch the Big Boy video or anything like that, go to the Why Not Today lifestyle on YouTube and give us a few hours here and there. And that would certainly help us meet our goals. So that's our goal by the end of this year. Our goal by December is to hit the 4,000 hour range. So. And
then we may get a penny a month.
We might get a little bit.
Money.
But I will tell you this, just full disclosure, podcasts do cost money. And a lot of people get sponsorships for those. We have not done that. And we have not been looking for that. As of right now, we're just paying for it ourselves. And it's approximately $30 to $50 a month to run a podcast. And that doesn't include all the microphones and all that stuff. But that's just some things we've learned. The software and the hosting and the editing and all that is quite the process. I've learned a lot, which I'm happy about. But this morning we had a little bit of a rocky start due to a lot of technical problems. And that part frustrates me easily. But I'm going to get it figured out.
And I was thinking about this last night. And I thought, why are we doing this? Eric and I both deeply love people. Deeply want to help people. And I've had quite a bit of experience in the last 5 years of helping people with weight loss, which comes into so many things, the exercise, the mindset, the addiction, there's just so many things involved in weight loss. And it boils down to loving yourself. So we want to do this to bring to you some positive ideas, some positive thought, so that you wake up in the morning and you kind of like yourself a little better, because it's
that's what the goal is. Okay.
Is it? What is your goal?
I think that is, yeah.
Hope, health, and happiness.
Right.
What else
Those
is
are the three
there?
keys, honestly.
What else is there to have in life? And so if we sit here and we kind of talk and we ramble, I hope we're touching and giving you some thought. And maybe you're going to go out this week and try something.
Yep.
Try something.
And we do get our emails from people telling us how bad our quality of our podcasts are and that we don't do very professional. We're not professional podcasters. Let's make that very clear. We are just trying our best to do the best we can, and we're learning as we go. And we're glad you guys join us. And I honestly, Rose, I don't know if that is something I have to do every year. I don't think so. Once we get it monetized or once we hit that 4,000 hours, I believe we qualify at that point. I don't know. It'll be interesting to find out.
Well, you better Google it and learn. That's my favorite thing. Google it and learn. Keep learning.
Yeah,
Keep
we're
running your
gonna keep trying to
whole life.
figure this YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I mean, we're on everything under Why Not Today lifestyle. So keep following us, keep joining us.
When we decided to do this, we felt like we needed a tribe.
Mm-hmm.
We needed a place to fit and a place to motivate and a place for you guys to motivate us, because
we have bad days too.
We do.
All the time.
We eat out the kitchen some days.
Oh, every day.
Stop it. We get depressed. We cry. We get angry with ourselves. We get angry with other people. But this is an avenue to help us deal with it, and hopefully to help you guys. So,
right.
So share. Let us help. Let us things to talk about. I want to talk a little bit next week more about addiction.
Okay.
If you're okay with that, Eric.
I think that'd be a good subject to talk on. We'll try to bring it, hopefully keep it a light topic. It can become very heavy at times, and there's so many people that struggle with that. And I know firsthand, many of my friends do, and they don't know that they do sometimes. And they don't realize that they have a problem, and you can't tell them they have a problem. They have to realize it themselves, and then they have to want to get help. And that's a good subject to talk about. There's many types of addictions. I know food is a big one for me. Huge.
And it is a real addiction if you're eating something to soothe your heart and soothe your mind.
Yep.
But we're going to talk about addiction. It's going to be maybe a little difficult, and we're going to keep it light.
Mm-hmm.
Some things coming up this week that we might be able to share a little bit more about addiction with you.
That means that we can't have the wine on the next week's show? We don't want to trigger anybody that's in AA, you know.
You know what, Eric? If you're not addicted to it, that's the difference. You can have wine, but there are people that cannot.
Coke Zero, Chrissy. This is Coke Zero right here. So I'm with you on that. That's a huge addiction too. So
very much.
Yeah,
so.
We'll talk about that next week.
Okay.
And we're going to end the show now, but we want to thank you guys for being here with us.
Do something that brings you happiness.
Yes. I know where I live. It's a beautiful day. Get outside.
I can. The past is behind me. Tomorrow can't find me till I live today. Why not today? While my heart is ready. Today, while it's in my grasp. If I start out slowly, confident knowing I'm still on my way. Why not today? Why not today? Why not?